All right, Black Science TV 111, Osei Kufuor. I'm back at y'all again. Got my twin brother here. We're here for a session. We're about to go deep. And the thing that we're going to touch on today is about nature. This is a deeper aspect of nature and the forces in nature. So without further ado, my brother's going to ask me certain questions pertaining to nature because we are nature, which is nectar. We are the nectar root, which interchanges with the forces of the universe, right? So, what's going on, my twin? What's going on, my twin?
All right, and Carl, I got an important question for you, man. It's on my chest. What do you think about trees? Like, do you think that trees have any kind of consciousness within them?
Do trees got consciousness? Is the question. Now, trees have to have some form of consciousness due to the various aspects of the functions that we have with it. We have a communication with the sun, right? We give off a certain element and it gives us an element back in return. So we have an indirect, unconscious communication with the tree. It is an antenna, right? It gives us oxygen, meaning that it has to breathe in some form or fashion. It might not be on a level that we breathe, but it's breathing, it's alive, right? Not only that, we can take it further. The aura of human beings is felt by trees, plants, flowers, and other things in the soil, right, which are conscious. If human beings was to leave out of this city of Lynchburg, right, the aura would disconnect from the trees, plants, and all the soil. Don't you know that the trees and the plants will start moving? If there wasn't any type of life that would give off auric energy or auric energy field, the sun, and the moon and the stars will send off certain particles into the universe in that atmosphere because it doesn't detect human abilities or human resources, so to speak, as they use in the workplace, because that's spiritual. Right. Workers. We are the workers of the earth. So when they don't detect our work and energy in a certain diaspora, the trees come to life and they start to move when they don't detect us. So when we look at the stars shed at night. The stars shed at night. And when the stars shed, they fall down into particles. They call it mist. It hits the soil and they become clumped in certain areas of the earth. And this is what we call gold. So when you go to Africa, being that it's close to the equator, right, that's the richest gold there. When you take God and you put when you take God and you put the letter L in God, it becomes what?
Gold.
It becomes gold, right? Okay. So when you're wearing gold, you are wearing the best of consciousness. You are wearing a force on your body that you are. You are a star. We come from the stars and we wear the stars more properly. We didn't have to go and purchase our jewelry. Look at the word jewelry. Prefix of jewelry is Jew. This is why we are the real Jews, because the Jews came from us and it's in us, magnetite. Melanin is a higher form of jewelry. We are the Jews. Not just from a title. We are the Jews because of the Jews we have inside of our DNA, inside of our biochemical structure. See, people want to say that we Jews because of a title. No, it goes beyond a book and it goes beyond a culture. Just like they go into the earth and pull gold out and diamonds, it's inside of our bodies as well. Magnetite, hematite, right? Geomagnetic particles of diamond-like structures in the brain. You get what I'm saying? Right. And so this is why they have a black market organ harvesting business. It's called the black market business, where they harvest off black men. At George Washington Hospital, Bobby Hemmett did a video. His name Bobby Hemmett. Check him out. That was my teacher. He brought me outside of a slumber. And I have to thank him for bringing me outside of that slumber, because another pair of eyes opened to another universe that was darker, but was more of reality. It was more of a reality. So yes, the trees are alive, the plants are alive, they just don't have a central nervous system. They don't feel pain. So when they dream, they start to move around. It's like they sleepwalking because they can't sense us. The plants sleepwalk. This is why at nighttime, they grow more better. They never grow in front of us. People say they need sunlight to grow. No, they need dark matter to grow. They need a darker form of sunlight to grow, which is dark matter, which comes to life at night. And the chlorophyll inside of plants and these particles inside of the trees, which produces the oxygen, right, content, which gives the perception of the environment, start to come more to life. Move around. When we sleep, you'd be surprised to see what's moving outside of your house or outside in the forest, right? Trees move. But we don't pay attention to every little detail, where this plant was yesterday, where this flower was yesterday, where was this soil at yesterday, right? Because we don't pay attention to that like our ancestors do. Our ancestors would look at certain soil, right? And they would look at the diagram of the soil and the pattern. And they will come back out the next day after the sun will rise at a certain degree, right? Because when the sun rises at a certain degree, it moves certain minerals or magnetic particles around in the earth, just like it does in our brain. And this is what gave us our psychic abilities. Our psychic abilities is in the earth, it's in the soil. But because we wear shoes now, right? Things are being repelled from our auric field that's in the bottom of our feet. We don't only have an auric field on the top of our head, we have it at the bottom of our feet, which we call flight or wings. And this is what a reality of the Greeks putting wings on their feet, right, in their mythology. It's not wings that help them fly. It was consciousness that came from the earth that helped you fly mentally into other dimensions. See, they can only do it physically. This is why they made a whole image of them having wings on their feet. Wow. But we got wings. We got wings in the soil that helps us to go. It makes us lighter. And I ain't talking about lighter as far as that light that blinds you. I'm talking about it makes us lighter as far as being darker, that dark light that gives us that energy, that energetic flow with everything around us. It places us in other constellations, even though we're here and we're not there. Yeah, I mean, it's a whole. The whole thing is like we are under a spell due to languages that we have picked up and learned. Our brain shut down once we started to learn languages. Once our brain picked up on letters, right? I'm talking about the letters of them. These low vibratory frequencies of letters, it started to shut down certain circuits and cavities in our brain. Right. And so the copper that used to flow through the veins in the brain, that copper, it dried up. And that copper was magnetic at one point. Now it's just laying dormant. And the pineal gland shut off. It used to go on a spiral at 360 degrees. Now it just go at it goes at a 90 degree and it stopped. Because of the food we eat and the language that we put inside of our brain. The letters. Images was more healthier for us. Because when you look at an image, right, and it's constructed a certain way, it can affect your perception, how you see things, right? Not only that, it can make you full. Don't you know that images can play on the part of your brain that has a lot to do with your appetite? So our ancestors would breathe in images while focusing on images. They would breathe in these images while looking at it, right? And upload it into their body, and the brain will process it to the point where they would be full. They wouldn't need food. So these images would trick the digestive system to let them know that they ate. Wow. To make them think that they ate. But they ate through vision, through air, through seeing, through breathing. That's why you got certain people in the world called breatharians. But we'd be like, man, how the hell are they living just all breathing air? It's people who can do that. They tapped into other curtains, right? That leads them to other dimensions where there are other senses that will open up and eat information. And that information will make them full. Because you have to understand, everything starts in the mental. It don't start in the physical. You can't build a house from the top down. You have to build it down up. So that foundation, building from the ground up, meaning from the mental out. Gotcha. So this is why our people are so much in a slumber and they got diseases and illnesses because they're trying to build themselves from the physical, right? Even though their Bible tell them be not of the flesh, they still think they're physical. And this is why they fear death. And this is why at the time of their death, right? They have to go through a time loop because you're not supposed to have an emotion as low as fear inside of your gut. Your gut is where your soul pulls from when it's leaving the body. It pulls from the gut. It goes through that third ventricle, right? In the heart. And then your brain got a third ventricle. But they don't talk about the third ventricle in the heart. It has a chamber down there. So when it goes from the south chamber to the north, it goes up into what we call the Judgment Hall of Osiris. And this is where your scripts is being flashed before your eyes. It's being recanted. It's looking at certain things. And now it's being played off through the third ventricle. And it hits your frontal lobe. And if you're in fear by the time it hits your frontal lobe, that gate automatically shut down. And now all you have is a light to walk into. That's why they say they tell you to walk in the light. But that's a trick. You're not supposed to walk into the light. Because the light is the time loop that sends you back. Oh, wow. It sends you back. That's the curse. That's why they made us favor the bright light more. But the bright light blinds you when you look at it long enough. It causes you to have accidents when you can't see. You get what I'm saying?
Right. So I explain why they say go toward the light.
Most definitely. That's exactly what it's explained. Go toward the light for what? Because it's appeasing to you. That's why we eat the food. It tastes better, but it ain't good. Go toward the light. It look better, but it ain't good. Look at her. She got a nice body, but she ain't got nothing up here. It look good, but it ain't. Because all you're doing is gravitating towards something that's going to drain you. Because the only thing the person can give you physically, who only go for looks physically, you get what I'm saying? It's something that's gonna wither away. It's like a wildflower. It's gonna wither away. And then what you gonna have after that? Wisdom is the greatest body to have. Wisdom used to be something that we would gravitate toward because it has a body. All knowledge of wisdom has a body. And the soul of knowledge of wisdom is understanding, overstanding, and understanding. The wisdom that we are looking at, that we're becoming attracted to. And you are that wisdom. We're not physical. We are wisdom and knowledge. So when you learn something, all you're doing is adding to that soul. And the more you learn, the further you go from one realm to another once you leave the physical body. You get what I'm saying?
Right. A shout out to my brothers Kyrie Irving, Kanye West, and Tatiana Balance. Keep doing what you're doing. All my soldiers on the front line.
Most definitely.
Doing what you're doing.
Also, Candace Owens, keep doing what you're doing because it's just something about you. When you speak, I can feel your spirit. Keep doing your thing, Queen. Black Science TV 111. Osei Kufuor. I'm out. Peace.